Okay, so I know it's been a while, right? Because honestly, I've just been reading. Like, literally gotten back into my groove, guys, and I'm fucking loving it. Okay, so I started off with saying, you know what? I'm in this super big reading slump. Let me just go and read some old favorites. And of course, I started with like some romance favorites, like Boys of Brayshaw High series, like that trilogy by Make It Brandy. It's top tier to me. That, like, if you haven't seen it, you can go back a ways. I'm pretty sure I posted many videos. But anyways, so I'm reading some old favorites. And then, of course, I was having issues with reading on my Kindle, so I started reading my paperbacks, which don't come from me. People who love their pretties and don't want to read them, they're mine. A lot of them are signed to me. They're mine. I'm fucking reading them. Sorry if you don't like that, but whatever. That's me. You do you. Okay, anyways, these are not signed to me because they're by Christopher Pike. So these are books that I read when I was in high school. And I thought it would be fun, right? Because everybody's doing this whole thing with the Hunger Games, right? But I read the Hunger Games as an adult, like in my late 20s, early 30s, I think. And then I've reread them again, obviously, for reasons. But I thought it would be fun to go back and read something that I read as a teenager. And I didn't do much reading as a teenager because books were boring. I was not a reader until I hit my 20s. So anyways, moving along. So I had this friend, God rest her soul, Jamie, who was a big reader. She read all kinds of books. She would read all the books that her mom read. But then she also had some books that she read that were teenager books, right? So anyways, Remember Me series by Christopher Pike. She got me to read this first one. So this first one, Remember Me. This, to me, read like Days of Our Lives. And in the 90s, teen girl, Days of Our Lives, you watch that shit during the summer. This read like Days of Our Lives to me, okay? This book, total nostalgia, loved it. Don't remember if I did a book, like a video on it, but totally loved it. So then I read that one a little while ago. I reread that one a while ago. Then I went back and reread Remember Me, The Return. This book had so much spiritual content, and I am not religious. Somebody started calling my phone, so I don't know if that recorded. But anyways, not religious. There is lots of mention of God here, but there's also lots of mention of just all spirituality. So it's not a Christianity-based belief, right? Well, anyway, she gets reincarnated, but instead of being reincarnated into a new body, she's reincarnated into another 18-year-old girl who suffers somewhat the same fate she did in her first life and lives through it. So she's back to tell the story, and she does remember her previous life. And anyways, it's phenomenal, and it ends with the other guy realizing he too is a wanderer. That's what they call them, wanderers. And then this book, Remember Me, The Last Story, is a few years later after she's gotten into the groove of her new life, but she's going by, she's a writer, so she writes books. Her pen name is Sherry Cooper, which was her name in her first life. Anyways, this one doesn't have as much spiritual content, which is fine, because it's, honestly, you read the whole trilogy, and it blew my mind. As a grown-ass woman, I read these when I was a teenager. As a grown-ass woman who, I mean, let's be real, for all intents and purposes, had a near-death experience, I feel this book right here, I feel this in my soul. The way Sherry is when she comes back as as Jean, the way she is, the way she thinks, the things she feels, 100% felt this in my soul, understood it to the max, that I did not understand at the age of 14 or 15 when I read them. And then again, this one, and it wraps it all up. Not going to tell you how it ends, but anyways, if these books are not your vibe, but you think they might be something for your teenagers to read, I 100% recommend them. There's no spice in them at all. I mean, she does talk about sex and wanting to have sex, but then never actually, like, I mean, she has like a hot and heavy makeout session, I believe, in the third book, finally. Mm-hmm. Hot and heavy makeout session, and that's as far as it goes. But anyways, these were great books, and I was so so enthralled with them, even as a grown-up, because the things I saw in these 3 books as a teenager were completely different than a way I saw them as an adult that's had life experiences. So, if this isn't a PSA to go back and read books you read as a teenager to see what your new eyes think, I don't know what is.